So this video is going to be about things I did not know about pregnancy, or in my case, some things that could happen that I didn't know could happen. Let's start with kind of like a gross type of thing, but trust me, if you've given birth, this is like the best thing ever. Basically, when you give birth, like afterwards, they give you, well, for me, and I know that a lot of other moms have said they've gotten this, but I didn't know this till like it was actually happening, or till my dad told me. So they give you like this it's like this squirt bottle, and you just squeeze it and it squirts out water. So basically what it is for, I mean, if you give birth, whether you do it vaginally or C-section, that area, even for me, was just kind of really, I don't know, just tender. Even though I had a C-section, so I didn't give birth vaginally, it just, I don't know, I just didn't want to touch that area. So they gave you a squirt bottle, and basically you just fill it up with water, and whether you go to the restroom or you're gonna shower, you just kind of squeeze the water on your vagina and it cleans it. And it's the best thing ever. Oh my gosh, like at first I was like, oh, it's so disgusting, like why can't I just wipe? Like, I didn't even have a vaginal birth and I still wanted to use that thing. And I don't know if it's because I was just sore, and just anywhere down that area, it was just not, I did not want to touch it. I did not. So I know, TMI, but it was just, you just squirt the water and it cleans you, and it's literally the best thing ever. Other thing that I did not know is, my mom kind of like had mentioned a while back, like I don't know what we were talking about, but a while back, before I was even pregnant, before I met my husband, but the underwear, like how big the underwear and how big the pads were. Like, I didn't have, like I said, I know I'm repeating myself, I didn't have a vaginal birth, and I didn't bleed as much, I'm sure, as I felt like, not as much as if I would have had vaginal birth, but the underwear and the pads, they're humongous. But that's literally all you want to wear. They're comfortable, they're humongous, but like I said, it's comfortable, so you just, that's what you want to be in, and you bleed. And it was just, I didn't know that. I had no idea. Growing up, we didn't really talk a lot about things like this. My mom wasn't very open with us, and she had her reasons, but she just wasn't open with us about certain things. So there's a lot of things I did not know about sex or birth or labor or whatever. So that was another thing that was gross and I did not know. So now that I got the gross stuff out of the way, another thing in my case, which I didn't think they could do, I always thought if you needed to give birth sooner than what you were expected to, I always thought they induced you. In my case, if you watch my labor and delivery story, if you haven't, go check that out, it's in the description box. They didn't induce me. I guess because I was so sick, I had a preeclampsia, they literally came in, the doctor told me, we're having this baby in an hour, and that was it. So they literally prepped me, they didn't induce me, I had no contractions, I didn't experience any of that. I just got prepped and I had a C-section. They just cut me open and ripped out my baby. I didn't know they could do that. I didn't know. I thought like if you had to have the baby sooner, you had to get induced or something. I didn't know they just basically just, I mean, it's a good thing because it saves the baby if the mom's sick. But I was just like, what the heck? Like, it all happened so fast. I honestly thought I would have got induced, but I didn't, and I didn't know that they could do that. So that's another thing. That's like only, that was in my case. That's not, I'm not saying that happens with every delivery, but it can happen, obviously. And if you already knew that, I'm sorry, I'm stupid. But yeah, I read a lot with my pregnancy before, like right when I found out I was pregnant. I was constantly on the internet, I was constantly reading books, I was constantly on the apps. But one thing I did not know about pregnancy is the itching. Oh my gosh, I itched so much, especially in my last trimester. I didn't, or my second to like middle, my second to my last trimester. I did have my baby at 32 weeks, so I didn't go the full third trimester, but like in the middle of my second trimester, I was so itchy. Like everywhere was itchy. My husband was constantly scratching me, and I could not get enough. Like he would stop and be like, no, it's still itchy, like everywhere. And I know that was because I was stretching, and I shouldn't have scratched because I have tons of stretch marks, which honestly guys, I think if you're gonna have stretch marks, you're gonna have stretch marks. Cocoa butter, scratching, whatever remedies you have, I honestly don't think it helps. I think your body is going to get them if they get them, and there's nothing you can do about it. Yes, maybe they go away after. Mine haven't, but I think that's because I haven't lost any weight. But I just don't think any of those really help, in my opinion. So that was one thing I did not know. The itching was terrible. I hated it. Everywhere was itchy, even on parts that weren't like, I thought it was just gonna be on my belly. No, everywhere, my legs, my arms, my back, everywhere was just itchy. It was frustrating, and I feel bad for my husband because he would scratch me and he would not complain, he would just do it. So thank you, John. The fourth thing that I did not know about after you give birth is the swelling. I thought the swelling was just when you're pregnant. And again, guys, if you're watching and you're a mom, you're like, oh my gosh, how does she not know that, blah blah. I'm a first time mom and I'm only 22, so yeah. The swelling afterwards, like, I honestly was scared at first because I was swelling on my feet, on my legs still, on my hands. Like, I was just like, what the heck is going on? And I was scared because of preeclampsia. So I was like, you know, is there something wrong with me? Like, am I still sick? I thought once I had the baby and the placenta was out, I'd be okay. But they told me that that's what happens. It's all the extra fluid. So it's preeclampsia. If you know anything about preeclampsia, one of the symptoms is you swell a lot. But honestly, I did not swell a lot. That's why I didn't even know I had preeclampsia. So after birth, that's when I swelled the most. And I was surprised because I did not even know that could happen, but it can happen. So it was bad. I couldn't even fit in my shoes, and that never happened throughout my whole pregnancy. Like, it wasn't until after I gave birth that I couldn't fit in my shoes. Last thing was it has to do with the swelling, is I sweat so much after I gave birth. Every night when I would go to bed, I would wake up in the middle of the night and I'd be drenched in sweat. Drenched, like I would stink. That's how bad I sweat. You know, it's because the extra fluid was like leaving my body, but I was sweating all everywhere. Like my whole one night I woke up and my shirt was just sweaty and I stunk so bad, and I didn't know that was gonna happen. I was kind of concerned, but of course I asked my mom and I also googled it, and it's common. That's how the fluid, you know, that's a sign of the fluid's leaving your body. And so I would sweat so much and it was so gross and I did not like it. That's pretty much it. I know it was kind of short. It wasn't a whole lot. Those were just some, you know, few things that I did not know about birth or about pregnancy. They were kind of gross, but if you're a first-time mom and you're watching this, those are some things that can happen. Again, the whole thing about the C-section, that was just in my case. I'm not saying it's gonna happen to you. It's not. I mean, preeclampsia is common, but that doesn't always happen to every pregnancy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, even though it was, I guess, kind of gross in a way. But for moms, I think they would enjoy this, or they would find it funny, or first-time moms would get some insight on pregnancy or things to expect. So if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys subscribe if this is your first time viewing my channel. Go check out the other videos to see if you like my channel, and subscribe. And thank you guys so much for all your support and all your love, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.